welcome to this very special webinar. We wanted to first wish our viewers a very, very happy Independence Day. I'm Kritika Saxena. We are here to not just recount the past, but talk about the future. 78 years of India's independence. What lies ahead is very, very exciting. We at TCS have been proud to be a part of this digital growth, the rapid acceleration of India in the last 78 years. Today, to talk about the future and the role that artificial intelligence is going to play in the acceleration of India's digital journey, I have two very special gentlemen joining me. I have with us Abhishek Singh, the CEO of India AI Mission, as well as Siva Ganesan, the Global Head of AI and Data for TCS. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking out the time and talking to us. We are here at a very interesting juncture where India is poised to leapfrog its global peers when it comes to AI adoption, acceleration. There are many opportunities, there are many challenges, there are ways to counter this. So there's a whole lot to discuss, but I'm going to start with you, Mr. Singh. You've had a very, very exciting journey since you've taken over this role. In the last 1 year, there have been several initiatives that are poised to accelerate the journey that we've been talking about. What, to your mind, are the biggest opportunities that lie before us to put India on that global tech stage, rather, to put it correctly, leapfrog India on that stage?
See, what we should see and what we should look at is that there's a lot of expectations from India, given the talent capital that we are considered to be, especially in the tech space. Given the prowess of our Indian IT companies, TCS has been one of the companies that have been forefront of implementing transformational projects globally. Our engineers are part of every major big tech company across the world. Some of them are even leading it. When it comes to India as a country, we are amongst one of the most country with the maximum amount of talent, especially in the field of AI. If you look at GitHub, we contribute almost 20% of the GitHub AI projects. With this background, and especially the India stack, the digital public infrastructure that we have built in, so people across the world do have a lot of expectations from India. But we were like when we were looking at how we can leverage the strength that we have and how we can put forward on the AI map of the world, we realized that we are much behind countries like US and China. So at that point of time, we kind of did an assessment with regard to what all we need to do in order to ensure that we are able to measure up to the potential that we have. And we did realize that there are certain interventions that we need to make, especially with regard to making compute available, especially with regard to getting data sets available, providing support for building foundation models, ensure support for skilling, ensure support for startups. So with this in objective, we government approved the AI mission in March of 2024, and it was a seven-pillared approach which were targeted to address all the gaps that were identified. And in the last 1 year, we have made significant progress on all the fronts. Today, we do have almost 38,000 GPUs which are available at a very low cost, especially for our students, researchers, startups, academia, industry. We have built a datasets platform wherein we are slowly adding to the number of datasets that we have, which will ensure that AI entrepreneurs can use that datasets to build application, train models. We are providing funding support for building Indian foundation models. We have got applications in the field of healthcare, agriculture, education, governance, which can transform the way we deal with services. We have implemented a project called Bhashini, which is enabling services in all languages and voice. So what I believe is that we are ideally poised to build transformational AI enabled projects, which will be follow our DPI playbook, and what we can offer to the world in the next year or so will be something similar to what we built for India Stack, like the Aadhaar, UPI, DigiLocker. In AI domain, I expect that we'll have certain applications, use cases, models, which will be up there for adoption, not only in India, but for the whole world.
All right, that's a very comprehensive way to look at that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mr. Singh. Sivat, Abhishek spoke about a very interesting point about the human capital. Tell us a little bit about how you feel the demographic advantage that the country has that can be used not just by the government but by the entire ecosystem to kind of create a knowledge capital.
Absolutely, and thank you for the opportunity today. Wish all the audience a very happy Independence Day indeed. I think in relation to Abhishek's points, thank you, sir, for that first. I think the demographic dividend, as we often talk about in India, that is really starting to shine on the world stage. The whole AI revolution, I think, in many ways offers a giant reset moment for us. There's a very native India homegrown stack that is getting built, strongly supported by the government. And a lot of our engineers, we see it within TCS as well, agnostic of whether they're just beginning their career now or whether they've already tenured for a while. Everybody is billing very busy skilling, upskilling, cross skilling, all the ways of how they adopt computing, computational methods, all the newer chipset architectures, and the entire AI stack bottom up, right from the chip through to the soft layer. Why it is incredibly powerful for India today in the year 2025 is we have so much of human capital, as you rightly posed in the question, and we are entering a stage where everything is revolving around a knowledge game, knowledge work, knowledge economy, the purposing of all the knowledge in large language models, all of being available on tap to create very purposeful, meaningful journeys for people either in the societal space, for enterprises, the consumer space, for government and civil life as well. So, for us who have such a large young population and instant access to a lot of these resources in a very democratized, friction free manner, it provides a perfect platform or opportunity for a lot of us across the country to assimilate this in a very easy way and then, most importantly, put it to good use, which gives us our rightful place on the world stage. That's how I see it evolving.
Mr. Singh, talking to you about the point of skilling, then, do you agree that the demographic dividend of the country itself is an advantage to make us stand out? And to your mind, what support would you require from the entire industry, from India from the startup ecosystem, to be able to sort of fast track that journey as we look for the next 10 years?
See, of course, democratic dividend has been our strong point. We are regarded as the IT garage of the world. We are regarded to be a country with huge human capital. Our ITS sector employs more almost 6 million people. So all this is there. What AI is doing is making all of us more efficient. People are able to do more with less. In fact, there are Gen AI tools which are made coding very easy, but in a way, it's also resulting in a challenge that many of our IT workforce will need to acquire skills, reskills to ensure that they continue to remain relevant. If we are becoming more efficient in doing these things, then it also means that we'll need to have realign some of the workforce to do things to take up jobs which are emerging in the data economy. So all our IT companies, governments, academic institutions, AICT will need to relook at their curriculum and try to see how we can ingrain AI skills, data skills right from the very beginning. The other dimension that I'm seeing, which is going to emerge, is that AI is something which cuts across domains. It's not only the domain of engineers and computer scientists; it applies to all streams. So whether somebody is studying law or commerce or humanities, he will also need to have a basic grounding in using AI. So that way, we'll have to revise, work with UGC and other institutions to ensure making AI part of the basic curriculum at all levels. We'll need to take AI further down to school level. So the students, just like they study about plants and they study about geography and they study about solar system, similarly, they will need to have basic grounding with regard to pattern recognition, with regard to data analytics, so that they can take AI in whichever stream that they take in the future. So making these investments in skilling and education will be very, very vital for us to be able to retain the leadership that we have in the field of technology and AI.
Okay. Mr. Singh, you have a very ambitious roadmap charted out for the next 1 year. Could you share with us what the key priorities would be? And, for instance, you spoke about the voice first AI models for Indian languages you've spoken about in the past. Similarly, what are the key areas that are going to sort of set us apart from global peers? What are the priorities that you've laid out for your team?
You see, there are two key things that we are working on. One, in order to leverage the power of digital technology and digital transformation, we have to ensure that most people in India are able to access that. And if you look at our digital footprint, we have almost 900 million people, 90 crores of people who are connected, who are using digital technologies. But at the same time, we also realize that 500 million, 50 crore people are not. And for them to integrate with the digital economy, we'll need to build services which are in all Indian languages and which are voice first. People should be able to use voice to access services. And when we do that, and especially in natural language processing, projects like Bhashini AI allows that. And if they are able to live, to access the power that AI gives in, their individual jobs will become much more efficient and much more productive. For example, if a farmer is able to get agri advisories through voice in his mother tongue, and is able to decide how much water he should use for irrigation, or what kind of fertilizers, what kind of pesticides he should use, how he should harvest, what agriculture practices he should follow, he will be able to reduce his input cost and increase his yield and productivity. And when that happens, the income of the farmers will go up. Similarly, if small businesses, MSMEs, they start leveraging technology, they start leveraging AI for their inventory management, for their pricing strategy, for their product mix, so they will be able to become more efficient, and they will be able to generate more income. And if this kind of technology is adopted in all sectors of the economy, whether it's agriculture, whether it's small businesses, whether it's manufacturing, then it will overall make us more efficient, it will make us more productive, it will help increasing our national income, it will help increasing per capita incomes, and that's how we'll be able to move forward to Vixit Bharat. So my objectives with my team is that if we can do two things: one, build voice-enabled services in all Indian languages to empower people who are not yet connected, and number two, build applications for various sectors wherein people can use them for improving their productivity and outcomes. If we are able to do this, we will be moving very steadily on the path to Vixit Bharat.
Lovely. Siva, the path to Vixit Bharat, how do you feel the entire industry can support the India AI mission and the government and the country to be able to, again, leapfrog on that global stage? What are the key areas to your mind that can bridge those areas and whatever challenges that may come up?
Right. I think if I dissect your question to three parts, the areas and then, the models
Yeah.
and also the challenges. So the areas, I think it was spelled out just now, agriculture, helping the people who are not yet on the grid in terms of embracing AI, getting onto it, making it again very friction free, which means natural voice, the diversity of languages in India, and making it easier to talk to AI and get talked back to in the same language, vernacular, and all the other heterogeneities that we have in India. I think that's those are the kind of areas we can get into. Um, Model wise, if you look at TCS, we have over the years been a big part of the nation's infrastructure, if I may, be it the stock market, large banks, the post office, passport seva. I think so many programs. I think a private-public kind of partnership where the technological and the cross-industry knowledge that companies can bring from the private sector, and naturally do it for India, for our country, from a Vikasit Bharat perspective. I think that is a very natural thing to do to progress the cause of the nation beyond 2025 and into the future. The third thing is the challenges. I think the very nature of the subject, AI, is very dynamic, or the flip side of it is it is very volatile. Every day we wake up to something new out there, which means the rate of refresh and the rate of obsolescence of this technology is remarkably high compared to any past computing revolution that we have encountered over 4 to 6 decades now. What this means is, from a challenges perspective, speed, agility, the ability to absorb the new and put it into an execution mode such that results are very visible and apparent near real time. I think that is going to be very important. Second, to make sure that the sovereignty, the privacy, and all the other guardrails around not only the data but also the outcomes and the training that the models undergo from an AI perspective are protected and kept very regulated and within the boundaries of the country. I think that's going to be very important. Third is going to be making sure that the diffusion of what is built is socialized very quickly with the larger audiences in the country, so that people know how to very naturally consume this and make it part of life. I think that's going to be very important. The last part, I would say, I don't know whether to call it a challenge, but a consideration, is that an AI mindset is very important. I think it was very nicely spelled out by Abhishek. AI is going to make each of us that much more efficient, that much more productive. Just like the personal computing revolution or the smartphone revolution gave us so much of incredible computational power at our fingertips, so does AI provide an entire encyclopedia or dictionary of the world's knowledge and intellect at our fingertips. How do we consume that intelligently, responsibly, and for good outcomes for the country? I think that is a point for consideration which will be needing some engineering and some architecting, I guess.
This is thing that I'd love for you to add to that point on human AI centric models, where human and AI have to work together to create that differentiated outcome. What has your experience been so far, and how do you see the industry adopting to these models?
Whichever AI we build, of course, man in the middle, human at the ultimate end is very, very important. Human should be able to use AI tools to become as effective, as powerful as possible. And when we do that, we need to have guardrails, we need to have frameworks in the sense that AI should be able to support humans for doing the constructive things, and AI should not be used as a tool for harming users or any segment of the society. For example, AI can be used to create beautiful products, whether in the and AI can be used as a tool to help us do our things effectively. But AI can also be used to create deep fakes. AI can also be used to do financial frauds. AI can also be used to spread misinformation. So we need to have frameworks in partnership with industry. Most of the industry world over are taking voluntary commitments in this regard, how they will adopt AI for helping the humanity, for helping the social causes, and restricting, limiting the use of AI for anything that may be perceived as harmful or is harmful for society at large. So we do need human element in designing such AI solutions. We do need to work closely with the academic community and the industry to ensure that we are able to create truly impactful AI products that benefit the whole nation.
Abhishek, in the same vein, the point that Siva made about sovereignty as well, I wanted to get your view on the concept of sovereign AI and how relevant and critical it is to maintain that, especially in the whole Make in India journey, right? What's your view? Do you feel that sovereign AI is going to be a very critical element as we walk forward on this journey?
The AI compute infrastructure that has been set up within India, within the data centers in India by our empaneled partners, the 38,000 GPUs that we have. To that extent, they are constituting sovereign AI. True sovereignty, to my mind, will be when we are able to design GPUs, when we are able to manufacture those chips within India. So we are a bit far away from reaching that objective. And the second part for sovereign AI comes in when we can use the GPUs which are made available to train models on Indian data sets, to have homegrown indigenous models. There are companies like Sarvam, Socket, Gyani, GAN, which are being supported by India AI Mission to build that, and they are on the path to build that. So when we are able to address the complete stack, right from chips to compute infrastructure to models and on applications. Applications is something easier. We have many Indian companies, many startups who are adept at making applications. We can do this. So if we are able to kind of play at all levels of the stack, of the AI stack, right from the chipsets to the compute infrastructure to the models to the applications, then only we'll be able to truly claim that we have built sovereign AI.
So, Siva, let me come to you then. What role do you see the Indian IT sector playing?
I think it was very eloquently laid down just now. The full value chain or the full spectrum of the AI stack, right, ground up from the chipsets in the data center to the models that are trained and kept ready, and then the ensuing application libraries that consume the models, and then lastly the application layer. I think at every node the sector can play a role. Arguably, on the application stack and in terms of how to consume the model and provide for agents to be created, agentic AI to come alive, there is already a lot of vibrancy and activities happening in terms of work. But I think in terms of probably model building and in terms of also the homegrown chipset architecture and design, there is some role to be played, and that's a journey to be undertaken. I think beyond this, I think also spreading awareness, helping, playing a role in creating the awareness of how to consume AI tech and how to make it very native, a way of life, as it were. I think that's another space that the sector can definitely play a role in. And last but not the least, when it comes to all of this being done from a Make in India perspective and from making sure that it is very natively engineered for the heterogeneity and the diversity of our motherland. I think that is another special space or place that the Indian IT sector can play a role.
How often do you use AI in your day-to-day world?
All the time.
Mr. Singh, how often do you use AI?
We do, a lot. In fact, my phone screen has changed in the last few months, and now all the Gen AI apps, whether it is Perplexity or whether it's Chat GPT or whether it's Gemini, all of them are on your home screen. And very often we do reach out, you use that, and sometimes get analytical reports which are better than what my consultants do in like few weeks. So sometimes it's very, very useful, relevant.
The last question, although we can keep going on this conversation. Siva, in two, three lines, if you had to summarize, where do you see India on the global stage, the biggest opportunity that you're excited about?
It's a combination of a dream and an opportunity. I think it is to be the de facto player on the planet who leads the way for the world in everything to do with AI.
Same question to you, Mr. Singh.
Again, we do dream to have to be one of the top countries which are providing solutions in all technology space, especially AI and data analytics. We do hope that India takes up the leadership of the global south. Our companies do better, we are able to build products that we are truly proud of. So I do hope that when we are doing similar accelerating India with you next year, we'll be talking more about what all we have done in the last year. So I'm sure, and with the capability that we have and the efforts which our Indian companies are making toward this, I'm sure we'll be able to achieve that dream and it will be a reality.
And we're all very, very excited about that. Thank you so much on that very optimistic note. Thank you, Siva, and thank you, Mr. Singh, for joining us. It's been a pleasure to host this conversation. As we go forward, there's a lot of hope, a lot of enthusiasm. Thank you to all our viewers that have watched, and wishing everyone from all three of us a very happy Independence Day.